Ghost Tales.
Hey, girlies and ghoulies, and welcome to the Girly Ghost Tales podcast. We're your hosts for the evening. I'm Leah.
And I'm Amber. And tonight we're deep diving into the world of witches, exploring the Salem witch trials and the infamous European witch hunts, and the legends that inspired the witches we know today.
So sit back, grab some popcorn, get comfy, and
To the grave we go. So I did the European witch trials. It began as a whisper in the shadows, and soon became one of the darkest chapters in European history. From the late Middle Ages through the 17th century, a wave of hysteria swept across Europe. A fevered obsession with witches, the devil, and the unseen hand of evil. No one was safe. No one was beyond suspicion. Fueled by fear, religion, and superstition, witch hunters scoured villages and towns for anyone who might be in league with the devil. Tens of thousands were accused, tens of thousands were killed. In Germany, most of the victims were women. In Iceland, men faced the flames. And everywhere, the hunt was justified in the name of God. In 1484,
1484?
That's so crazy.
That doesn't seem real.
I know.
That's crazy.
Especially since our history doesn't start until the 1600s or
Right.
something.
Like, how is that even possible?
I know. How do they have
How do they
history
know
of it?
anything
Yeah.
that happened? That doesn't make I can't understand that.
In 1484, Pope Innocent VIII issued a decree denouncing witchcraft, calling it a grave threat to Christianity. 2 years later, a German inquisitor named Heinrich Kramer seized on the declaration and wrote Malleus Maleficarum? I don't know. The Hammer of Witches. It became the witch hunter's Bible, teaching others how to identify, torture, and destroy the so-called servants of Satan. And with that, the flames began to rise. The first great witch hunt erupted in 1428 in Valais, Switzerland. For 8 long years, fear gripped the region. 367 people were executed. Most were poor peasants, many of them men, accused by their neighbors of dark communion with the devil. It took just 3 public accusations to seal one's fate. Once arrested, the accused were tortured until they confessed to flying through the night, attending infernal meetings, or transforming into werewolves. Which, how do they know what werewolves were in 14 whatever?
That's so crazy.
I know. Their punishment was almost always the same: fire. Victims were tied to ladders and thrust into the pyre, a bag of gunpowder around their necks to make death mercifully swift.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. Before the height of the witch craze, another victim met the flames, though for far more political reasons: Joan of Arc, the warrior saint of France. Captured by the English in 1431, Joan was subjected to 15 interrogations before being branded a heretic and a witch. Her inquisitors claimed that the poison of heresy had turned her into a member of Satan. At just 19 years old, she was burned alive in Rouen, I think. Witnesses said she died of smoke inhalation before the fire reached her. Her last words were a prayer to God.
That's sad.
Yeah. They claimed that she was, what did it say? A member of Satan. But then sadly her last words were a prayer.
And imagine being 19
Mhm.
and that's happening to you.
Yeah, that's crazy. Although 19 back then was
Old.
30 something now. Nearly 2 centuries later, one of Europe's largest and most terrifying witch hunts took place in Bamberg, Germany. Between 1626 and 1631, more than 1,000 people were accused. 900 were burned at the stake. Men, women, even children, all victims of a nightmare that began with a failed harvest.
That is so crazy.
900 people. Ooh.
I can't believe they used to just kill people back then.
Yeah.
Like, if they thought something
was just a little off about them.
They're like, oh, my crops aren't growing, you're a witch,
Yep.
and I'm killing you.
It's your fault.
Yeah,
now
you're
you die. You're done. Locals believed witches had sent frost to destroy their crops. The Prince Bishop Johann George Fox von Dornheim, I don't know, he's got a long ass name, responded by launching a full-scale inquisition. Torture was limitless, confessions endless. People admitted to impossible crimes, flying through the night, consorting with demons, taking part in satanic rituals. So many prisoners filled the dungeons that a special witch house was built in 1627, equipped with torture devices, thumb screws, leg vices, and the strappado.
Thumb screws?
Yeah, I don't.
I'm just picturing like a
Literal screw through your
like
thumb.
going through your thumb.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You're looking at it that way. I was looking at it like going down your
Oh
thumb.
my god,
for some
that's
reason.
even worse.
Ugh.
Ugh, that makes me like cringe.
Yeah. Ugh. The horror finally ended when one man, the husband of an accused witch named Dorothea Flock, escaped and begged the emperor for help. The emperor intervened and the prince bishop was removed from power, but not before enriching himself by seizing the lands of his victims. Still, the witch hunting frenzy continued across Europe for decades to come. During the height of the hunts, Germany accounted for nearly half of all witchcraft executions. The method of death depended on the country: fire for Europe, hanging for England, and the colonies of North America. But how did one prove witchcraft? A birthmark, a mole, a freckle, these were considered devil's marks, where where witches supposedly nursed their familiars, demonic spirits disguised as cats, dogs, or toads.
Oh my god.
If no mark was visible, witch hunters had other ways. The accused were pricked with long needles. If they didn't bleed, it was proof they were in league with Satan. Some hunters used retractable pins, ensuring a guilty verdict every time.
Retractable pins?
So, like, when you poked, it would just, like, go back into the... So it wouldn't even poke the person.
Why? Okay, this is just
crazy. Yeah, at that point,
crazy.
they were just, like, looking
Yeah.
to kill people. Well, and then going back to that Prince Bishop where he seized all those lands, that's what a lot of people were doing too, was to like get rich off of killing people and taking their stuff.
That is messed up.
Yeah. Women who were older, unmarried, or outspoken were often targeted. Healers and midwives whose knowledge of herbs was misunderstood as magic were especially vulnerable. And then there was the swimming test. The accused stripped, bound, and thrown into water. If they floated, the water had rejected them, proof of guilty. If they sank, they were innocent, but many never resurfaced.
I've heard that, like, sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think they did that in America too.
mm-hmm. If they floated.
Yeah. But I did read too that they would tie a rope to them, and so then if they sank, that they could try to like pull them up, but not many of them were alive when they got pulled back up.
Oh my gosh.
The final witch trial in Europe may have taken place in Poland in 1775 in the village of Dorochow. 14 women were accused of cursing a nobleman's wife. 3 died under torture. The rest were burned alive. The trial horrified even the authorities, and a year later, Poland officially outlawed both torture and witch trials. So why did it all happen? Historians point to many causes: religious warfare between Catholics and Protestants, famine from the Little Ice Age, greed, fear, and the chaos of the 30 Years' War. When crops failed or disease spread, someone had to be blamed. Eventually, reason began to replace superstition. The Enlightenment encouraged critical thought. Science explained the devil's mark was an ordinary blemish. Stable governments and new laws outlawed witch trials altogether, and slowly the flames went out. The last known person executed for witchcraft in Europe was Anne Goldie in Switzerland, 1782. Anne was poor, single, and 48 years old, the perfect target. After her employer's daughter accused her of witchcraft, claiming they'd found needles in their milk and vomited metal objects, Anne was tortured until she confessed. She was then executed by decapitation.
Oh my gosh.
Years later, the truth emerged. Anne had been having an affair with her employer, who accused her to silence her. She was not a witch, she was a woman, poor, powerless, and inconvenient. Anne Goldie's death marked the end of the centuries of bloodshed. An era of fear and fire had finally burned itself out, but the echoes of those hunts still linger. Yeah, so it had said that she was gonna confess to like having this affair or whatever, and then they killed her for it. But I have a few pictures. So this is Joan of Arc.
Oh,
she does look so young.
She looks like George Washington.
Kind of, yeah.
That's like weird, isn't
She a
it? She
descendant?
looks like his daughter or something.
Yeah. Now that you say that. Weird. Maybe they just didn't have a like.
They
how
just
accurate
made
do you
everybody
think?
look
Yeah.
like a certain way. I know, because how come people don't look how they used to look at all?
Yeah.
Like, why did people back then look so, like, you can tell that they're from a different, like, time period? Like, why do their faces and, like, everything look so different than how people look, like, today?
I don't know if it's the breeding process where, like, so many different cultures had come, so many different races or whatever had children with each other, and
like, were they just all like incest back then?
Well,
and, like,
a lot of
married
them
to their cousins and stuff.
And then this is the city of Bamberg, Germany. It's not like the best picture, but it's kind of cool. And then this is the picture of that witch house that they built in Germany to try to house all the accused.
Wish I could go into there.
I know. I wonder if it's still. I should look into that and see if it's still, or if they have like a replica of it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's so crazy because, like, if we were alive during that time, like, I would have been accused of being a witch and, like, got burned or, like, drowned or got beheaded or something.
They'd be like, you girls are out of here.
That's, like, so crazy. Like, you can't even, like, do anything about it, basically. Unless you, like, admit to doing stuff you didn't even do to hopefully, like, live.
Yeah.
Like, they said a bunch of people admitted to things that were, like, not even possible.
Yeah, flying through the sky.
Yeah, because they're probably like, well, this is my only chance at, like, not dying is if I confess to...
Or at least dying faster instead of being tortured.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That... I just can't believe that actually happened.
And it's so wild that it was so widespread through, like, everywhere, not even just in Europe, obviously in America, and then I'm sure in other countries too. I didn't look into... I wonder if they had it in, like, Asia or anything.
Oh, yeah.
I never looked into that.
I feel like probably not, because I feel like that culture, even, like, now, is still so much more, like, spiritual.
That's true,
and,
yeah.
like, I don't know, and smarter.
Yeah.
Than us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that is, like, weird, though. I didn't even, like, ever think of that.
Oh, this is a thumb screw. So you put your thumbs in there.
And then like, in here? Like this?
Yeah, and then they'd screw it.
And it just digs into... Oh my... Like...
I hate it.
That is gross.
Yeah, that's sick. Ooh.
Yeah, I would have confessed, like, even before I could even be tortured one time. I'd be like, I did it.
Yep, it was me.
I was flying last night to go meet the devil.
Yep, me and the devil met up for besties. Oh, and then this is the strapedo, whatever. So they pretty much put your arms back like this
and pull them up until they like break.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my god, that would hurt so bad. Ooh. In the winter of 1692, fear swept through the small Puritan village of Salem, Massachusetts. Shadows whispered of witchcraft, and within weeks, neighbors turned against neighbors. 3 women, Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba, were accused of consorting with the devil, and their names became the spark that ignited one of the darkest chapters in American history. From the real women who suffered to the spellbinding legends of the Sanderson sisters, tonight we're unraveling how Salem went from burning witches to celebrating them. So in 1692, the Puritan village of Salem, Massachusetts became gripped by hysteria when several young girls claimed to be possessed by the devil and accused others of witchcraft. It began in the home of Reverend Samuel Parris, his 9-year-old daughter Betty Parris, and 11-year-old niece Abigail Williams began having strange fits, screaming, contorting, and claiming to see invisible spirits. Doctors found no physical cause and declared it the evil hand. The girls soon accused 3 women of bewitching them: Sarah Good, a poor beggar; Sarah Osborne, an elderly sick woman; and Tituba, Reverend Parris's enslaved servant from Barbados. So I'll go into like the background of those 3 a little bit. So Sarah Good, the beggar witch, was a poor homeless woman in her late 30s who survived by begging around Salem village. She and her husband had fallen into poverty and often relied on charity. In Puritan society, where godliness and conformity were prized, her ragged appearance and bitterness made her a social outcast. When Sarah begged for food or shelter and was refused, she was known to mutter under her breath, which villagers believed were curses.
Me, I'd be like,
yeah, literally. Like, if this was me, like, they would be like, she's a witch. She's muttering.
She's cursing us.
Yeah. When one neighbor's livestock died soon after she left their house, they claimed she bewitched it. When questioned, she denied witchcraft but was interrogated for hours. The afflicted girls claimed her specter attacked them in court. Even her 4-year-old daughter, Dorothy Good, was accused of being a witch and imprisoned. She was traumatized for life.
Oh, yeah.
Like a 4-year, you're gonna accuse a 4-year-old of being
crazy.
A witch. Like
they could barely talk. Well, I guess, but
still, like,
yeah.
That's so sad. Sarah was hanged on July 19th, 1692. Her last words to her accusers were chilling. "You are a liar. I am no more a witch than you are, and if you take away my life, God will give you blood to drink." Legend says the reverend who testified against her later died choking on his own blood.
Oh my god.
Good.
As he should.
Yeah, deserves it. It's called karma.
Yeah.
So then there's Sarah Osborne, the outcast widow.
I just think they're all Sarahs.
Sarah Osborne was an older woman who had once been a respected landowner but fell out of favor after she remarried a servant and tried to claim her deceased husband's land for herself, something scandalous for a Puritan woman. She hadn't attended church for years due to illness and social shame. In a deeply religious community, not going to church was practically heresy. Her isolation and independence made her suspicious. Osborne denied all accusations but never even made it to trial. She died in prison on May 10th, 1692, before sentencing. She was one of the first to die in custody. So then there's Tituba, the enslaved witch who sparked the panic. Tituba was an enslaved woman from Barbados owned by Reverend Samuel Parris, father of one of the afflicted girls. Her background was mixed African, Caribbean, and indigenous folklore traditions, which Puritans saw as devil's magic. Like, okay, because it's different than you, you're like, oh my god, that's devil's magic.
That's the devil's work.
Yeah. When Reverend Paris's daughter Betty and niece Abigail began having fits and hallucinations, they blamed Tituba. The girls claimed she fed them strange tales of magic and the devil. Under extreme pressure and likely physical abuse, Tituba confessed to witchcraft, describing visions of the devil, black dogs, and witches' Sabbaths. Her confession fueled the hysteria because it proved witches were real.
What do you expect when you're torturing them? They're going to say what you want.
I know, like, obvious. That's just what they want to do. They're like, oh, well, they admitted to it. Yeah, because you're literally shoving, like, screws through their
through their
thumbs.
poor thumbs.
Yeah. But interestingly, she also claimed Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne were witches too, possibly to save herself. Tituba was imprisoned for over a year but never executed. She was later sold to pay her jail fees, and her fate after that is unknown. So, after her terrifying confession, claiming that she saw witches, familiars, black dogs, and the devil's book, convinced everyone that witches were among them, that's when the panic exploded. So, the trials took place in Salem Village, now Danvers, Massachusetts, and the surrounding area between February 1692 and May 1693. The Puritans who lived there were deeply religious, strict, and fearful of the devil's influence. They believed witchcraft was not just a sin, it was a crime punishable by death. The community was already divided by land disputes, church politics, and personal grudges. That tension was like dry kindling, waiting for a spark. And once fear took hold, accusations spread like wildfire. Neighbors accused neighbors, often over old grudges, property disputes, or simple jealousy. Spectral evidence claims that someone's spirit or ghost attacked the victim was enough for conviction.
That's so crazy.
So, objects like poppets, which I'm guessing were just like puppets, dolls used for magic, were found and used as evidence. Strange coincidences like crops failing, livestock dying, and unexplained illnesses fed the fear. Many of the executed were women who didn't fit Puritan expectations, so outspoken, widowed, or poor. Eventually, over 200 people were accused, and 19 were executed by hanging on Gallows Hill. One man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death under heavy stones for refusing to plead. His final words reportedly were more weight.
Oh, I have heard that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Those who confessed and accused others often survived. Those who refused to confess were considered guilty and executed. So just like, oh, you're not admitting it? Well, you're guilty.
Yep.
That
makes sense.
Crazy. By late 1692, people began to question the trials. Prominent ministers, including Increase and Cotton Mather, warned against using spectral evidence. In the years that followed, Salem was filled with guilt and shame. In 1697, a day of repentance was declared. In 1706, one of the main accusers, Ann Putnam Jr., publicly apologized, saying, I desire to be humbled before God for the accusing of several persons of a grievous crime whereby their lives were taken. So Ann Putnam Jr. was born in 1679 in Salem Village, so in Danvers, Massachusetts now, so that's where the trials took place. She was only 12 years old when the witchcraft hysteria began in 1692, one of the youngest afflicted girls. Her family, the Putnams, were one of the most powerful and influential families in Salem Village. Her father, Thomas Putnam, was deeply involved in the accusations and trials, often pushing for the prosecution of those accused. Anne's motives weren't simple. They were tangled up in family, fear, and the intense social and religious tension of the time. So, here are the main reasons that historians believe she became one of the most active accusers. Obviously, family influence. If her family is one of the most powerful families there at the time, and her dad is like we need to accuse all of them, and like she's gonna do what her parents are doing or telling her to do. So the Putnams had long-standing feuds with other Salem families, especially the Porters, over land, inheritance, and local politics. Many of the people Anne accused were connected to the families her parents disliked or fought with.
Of course.
It's believed her father may have encouraged or even manipulated some of the accusations to gain power or revenge. Like, yeah, obviously, he did that. Another one is religious fear and hysteria. So, Puritan society was obsessed with sin, the devil, and salvation. Anne was a young girl surrounded by terrifying sermons and panic. It's possible she genuinely believed she was being tormented by witches. Like, I could see that being like 12.
Yeah.
If like everyone around you is like, the witches are doing this to you.
You feel like one weird thing in your body, and you're like, oh god, it's a witch. Oh my god,
they bewitched me. That would be me if I was a kid and my parents were saying like, oh, there's witches all around us.
Yes. Oh, they're pinching us. And I just like imagine like you have a weird muscle pain or something and you're like, oh god,
it's the witch.
They've gotten me.
Yeah. And then another one is psychological and social pressure. So once the hysteria began, it spread like wildfire. The girls were suddenly powerful, listened to, believed, and even feared. For a 12-year-old in a strict, repressive society, that kind of attention could have been intoxicating. So I feel like all of them combined are like why she did that, because she did accuse 62 women of witchcraft.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot. And like being 12 years old and being like, yep, she's a witch. She, like 62 people.
I feel like also villages back then are pretty small. That's like half the village at least.
That's like the whole village. That's like what I'm picturing. Like everyone. They're like, all witches.
Somebody looked at her wrong. She's like, witch.
That's literally like how it was. Like if people had grudges or like if you like didn't get along with someone, it's like, well, they're a witch.
Yep.
And then you get your friends to say like, yep, they're a witch. And if like a few people accused you, that was enough to be like, well, you are getting tortured until you admit it.
And then you're dying.
That is just so crazy. Her parents both died not long after the trials, and Anne herself lived a quiet, isolated life, never marrying. In 1706, 14 years after the trials, she did something extraordinary. She publicly confessed and apologized to the Salem church. She said, "It was a great delusion of Satan that deceived me in that sad time, whereby I justly fear I have been instrumental with others in bringing upon myself and this land the guilt of innocent blood." The church accepted her apology, making her the only one of the accusers to ever publicly repent.
Oh.
That's crazy too. Yeah. Like she's the only one and she's like the youngest one too. Like that is sad that people can't even
acknowledge what they did. Well, she's going to heaven, the other ones are not.
No. I know, that's just crazy. And then in 1711, the Massachusetts government reversed many convictions and offered compensation to the victims' families. In 2022, the final 5 accused witches were officially exonerated 330 years later.
That's crazy.
So the Massachusetts state government formally removed the last of the Salem witch trial victims' names from the historical record of guilt. Most of the victims had already been cleared in previous centuries. The state was like slowly pardoning and apologizing over time to handfuls of them and like taking them off of the list.
That's wild that they didn't just take them all off.
I know.
What were they doing? More research into them? Like, are we sure she wasn't a witch?
To seem like they probably didn't want to seem like, oh, we messed up like all of this. Yeah. They probably wanted to seem like, oh, well, some of these are still witches, so like we weren't completely wrong.
Yeah.
So the last name to finally be cleared was Elizabeth Johnson Jr. She was accused and condemned during the 1692 trials but never executed, and somehow her name was left out of every pardon or correction since then.
Junior is wild. I've never heard of a girl being a junior.
Me either. It must have been like common back then because that's what it said for Anne too, like Anne Putnam Jr.
Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't even realize you said that either.
So it must have been just, then it just slowly over time turned
just became
into,
like a man thing. Weird.
Like maybe they didn't have sons.
Oh, that could be.
In 2022, a Massachusetts 8th grade civics class, led by teacher Carrie LaPierre, researched Elizabeth's story. They realized she had never been formally exonerated and started a campaign to fix it. With help from State Senator Diana DiZoglio, a bill was written to officially clear Elizabeth Johnson Jr.'s name. The bill passed in July 2022, finally completing the process that began centuries earlier. That's crazy that it took like an 8th grade class to get her name exonerated.
Yeah.
Like, why does it take an 8th grade class? Like, that should have already been done.
It's also just wild to me that that's something that they were even considering doing now. I mean, it is, I guess, yes, our history, but at the same time, it just doesn't feel real at the same time. Like, that just seems like accusing somebody of witchcraft is like a joke almost. Like, obviously it did happen, but I'm like, that's weird to think that they were like, we have to clear her name.
Imagine being her, like, her spirit and being like, really?
My name is the
only one?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be so pissed.
I was like, what the hell?
They took everyone's name off except for mine.
Oh, I'd be cursing all those people.
I know. She's probably like, I don't know, like those 8th graders, she probably like loves them. And like, thank you for clearing my name.
Ugh.
So now every single accused witch from the Salem witch trials is now recognized as innocent. No one in the historical record of Massachusetts is listed as guilty of witchcraft anymore. It's a full circle moment, a symbolic closing of one of America's darkest chapters. The site of the hangings, Gallows Hill, is said to still be haunted. Yeah, I would assume. Visitors report whispers, cold spots, and a heavy presence at the witch trials memorial. I want to go there.
Yeah.
Like, that would be so cool.
It's so crazy to me that the actual Salem village was in now Davenport, not actually in Salem. Yeah. I literally just learned that like 2 days ago on TikTok.
Really? Yeah, I know. It's so weird.
And they're pretty far from each other. Yeah. Like, I mean, not like crazy, but
it is really weird.
The more you know.
I want to go to Salem so bad. Do too. Like, so bad.
I know. We should plan for next year.
Like, literally, we like need to. Today, Salem embraces its witchy past. The Salem Witch Museum, Witch Trials Memorial, and the Witch House all stand as reminders. Early October, the city hosts haunted happenings, drawing thousands of visitors and modern witches. Salem is now a spiritual hub filled with psychic readers, covens, and Wiccan shops, a place where witchcraft is practiced openly. The witch has become a symbol of female strength, rebellion, and power, a total transformation from 1692. Some of the lesser-known facts relating to the trials: animals were accused too. A few dogs were executed for suspicious behavior.
My dog.
Literally thought to be connected to witches.
My gosh.
Like, okay, so you're accusing dogs of being suspicious and a 4-year-old of being a witch.
That's crazy. Like, they were literally just wanting to kill everything and anyone.
Like, oh, this is weird. Like, this doesn't seem right.
I'm sure there were people, but then they were probably too scared to say anything because then they'd be accused of a witch.
It's just crazy that there's even people that think like that.
I know.
They're like, that dog is suspicious. It's a witch.
It looked at me weird.
Yeah, like, that's so sad too.
I went to pet it and it flinched.
Like, they had to execute them.
That's so crazy.
Like that makes me so mad.
I know, it's so sad.
But it didn't say anything about like black cats.
Which that's good.
But it's
But then,
weird
like,
because
yeah.
that was what I was gonna assume
Mm.
would mostly be about, not dogs.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole thing just is weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
The trials inspired literature. Arthur Miller's The Crucible, 1953, used Salem as an allegory for McCarthyism. Gallows Hill Mystery. For centuries, the true site of the hangings was lost. It was rediscovered in 2016 through historical research.
Wow.
Which is also crazy.
Yeah.
Centuries after the hanging stopped and the hysteria faded, the story of Salem never really died, it just transformed. The witch went from a symbol of evil to one of mystery, rebellion, and power, and that transformation cast its spell over pop culture, inspiring stories, TV shows, and films that reimagined what it means to be a witch. One of the most iconic of them all, The Craft, which is one of my favorite movies.
I think I've only seen it one time.
Oh my god.
I've been meaning to watch it.
I've seen it too many times. I just watched it last night while I was doing this.
Oh my gosh,
too.
I have to watch it.
So, The Craft, 1996, with Fairuza Balk, Robin Tunney, Neve Campbell, and Rachel True are the main, like, the witches, and then Skeet Ulrich is also in that.
He was in all the good movies. Handsome man.
Real witchcraft consultants were actually used for that movie.
That's cool.
So the filmmakers hired Pat Devin, a real practicing Wiccan high priestess, as a consultant to make the rituals authentic. She helped write the incantations, circle casting, and elemental calls. So while some dialogue is dramatized, much of it reflects real Wiccan structure.
That's
which
cool.
is, I know.
That'd be scary though. I'd be like, am I summoning something as I'm acting?
They kind of did.
Oh.
So, Devin said she wanted to ensure witchcraft wasn't portrayed purely as devil worship, which was a common Hollywood trope at the time. So, in the movie, they're summoning a made up deity who they call Manon. So, it's like Manon. It's not a real deity. They like made one up specifically to not like conjure up or call an actual deity. So the girls worship Manon, a made up deity created to avoid offending real religions. However, the name and qualities of Manon were inspired by Pan and other nature deities. Ironically, after the movie came out, some real life witches started using Manon as a symbolic energy or archetype in their practice. While filming the beach ritual scene where the girls invoke Manon, freak waves crashed onto the set out of nowhere, destroying filming equipment and scattering candles. Fairuza Balk, Nancy, later said it felt like something didn't want them there.
Ugh.
The consultant, Pat Devin, confirmed the weather changed abruptly only during those ritual takes, calling it a little too coincidental. Fairuza Balk was a real witch, sort of. So she played Nancy, and she was genuinely interested in witchcraft before the film. During filming, she even bought an occult shop in Los Angeles called Panpipe's Magical Marketplace, one of the oldest witch shops in the US. She's since clarified that she's more spiritual than religious, but she studied Wicca extensively and wanted to portray Nancy's power realistically before her character spiraled. So that movie caused a witchcraft boom in the 90s. After The Craft came out, teen interest in Wicca and witchcraft skyrocketed. Bookstores reported huge spikes in sales of spellbooks, tarot cards, and crystal guides. The movie inspired a whole new generation of witches. Many modern practitioners say The Craft was their first introduction to the idea of real magic. The movie's moral, which is be careful what you wish for, reflects a real Wiccan principle, the rule of 3. It's the belief that whatever energy you put out, good or bad, returns to you threefold. Mm-hmm. This theme runs through the story: power, revenge, and the consequences of imbalance. The film crew intentionally used protective circles, elemental calls, and balance themes to show that witchcraft isn't inherently evil, it's human intention that corrupts it. Director Andrew Fleming said that he wanted the film to show both the seduction and the danger of real power. So, unlike Salem's witches, the Crafts Coven wasn't hunted, they were feared for their own power. But just like Salem, the story reminds us that when women claim power, the world doesn't always know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm surprised that there's not a new witch hunt today. Yeah. And that, like, women are being, like, targeted and, like, taken into custody or something for witchcraft. Like, I could see that happening again.
Yeah, I could too.
How the world is today. Mm-hmm. Which is sad.
I know. It is a lot more common now too. Mm-hmm. Witchcraft.
Right. So imagine how many women today compared to back then would be, like, burned or, like, killed, especially how many people are, like, so open about it.
I was
like,
gonna say very open about it.
Like, us. Literally. Like, we would be tortured.
Yeah.
Ugh. Just makes me feel so bad for them.
I know.
Especially the ones that were, like, literally not even, like, doing any type of witchcraft.
Or, like, the one mine said, like, midwives. So people just, like nurses, pretty much. Mm-hmm. That's so crazy.
I just can't even, like, wrap my head around how that happened in so many places. And, like, people were like, yeah, we should keep doing this.
Even across an ocean, like it.
Right.
And who came up with the term witchcraft? Like, who came up with the term witch?
So many questions, so little answers.
Yes. I tried to look up and see if there was any in Minnesota, but there was none here.
That doesn't surprise me, I guess.
I think by the time Minnesota was even, like, not discovered, but, like, founded or whatever,
all that was over.
Yeah. I think that's what I read.
Yeah.
There was one thing down in, like, the cities or something where they called it, like, the witches woods or something. It was some house where something happened, but I don't even think actual witchcraft took place. Yeah. Although I guess there is also a tree up the North Shore somewhere that they call the witch tree, and it's like Ojibwe, that tribe. There's some tree up there that they consider like a spiritual tree, and they call it the witch tree or something. But I didn't look too far into that either. But
yeah, I really want to go to Salem.
I know.
And go to, like, the memorial and, like, just imagine how all the energy and, like, the residual energy that's there.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say that too. I can't believe there are people who just live there, like actual local people who live there.
I know.
I wish that was me.
I know, me too. Like, why couldn't I have been born there?
Yeah. Why did I have to be born in stupid Minnesota?
Literally.
Like, well, it gets cold there too,
but like, imagine, like, I want to live in Salem.
Just literally anywhere on the east, like in that area on the East Coast would be so nice. Like, to be able to go there regularly.
Like, to just be able to walk down the street and be like, oh, here's all these, like, psychic shops, crystal shops, like.
And they're probably, like, people you'd live there, so you would just, like, know them.
And, like, a bunch of people that live there practice witchcraft, so, like, you're just surrounded by other people who are like
you, are interested in the same things.
That's literally, like, a dream. Wish we could just pack and, like, move there, make our families all move there.
Yeah. When we get rich enough, we'll be like, what? We have to.
Yeah,
it's for our job.
It's for our podcast.
Yeah,
it's for our 11 Patreon subscribers.
They really want us to.
But we should, like, plan a trip there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next year. I want to go there so bad.
Me too.
and then we could go see the Hocus Pocus house.
Yeah.
In the
In the
cemetery.
cemetery. Allison's house.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I just want to go there right now.
I know.
Like, let's go drive there after we film this.
Yeah, let's just take a drive all the way out there. Thanks, girlies and ghoulies, for joining us. Come back next week for stories about messages from the dead.
Make sure to follow our socials linked in the show notes and email us your ghost stories and anything paranormal at girlyghosttales@gmail.com.
If you want episodes 1 week early, live ghost hunts, Tarot Tuesdays, monthly giveaways, and exclusive bonus content, join our Patreon for $5 a month. New episodes release every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
So until next time, and remember, if you hear a whisper in the dark, it's probably just us.
But just in case, keep your lights on and your doors locked, and remember, the veil is always thinner than you think. Good night.